love so toxic, baby. You just want to be crazy. I'm like, fuck, baby. Your love so toxic, baby. Honestly speaking, she can get enough for the picking. Suicide, honestly speaking, she can get enough for the picking. Suicide, some Jada. Hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. So today we have Dada with us on the show. Welcome, Mr. Dada.
Hello, and good morning to you.
Good morning to you too. How's it going?
Well, bright, shining from this side. I'm not sure it's still going to be busy, but then things are a bit quiet for now.
Okay, wonderful. We're so honored to have you with us.
Thank you.
Today the topic is toxic relationships. Some people have had the misfortune of experiencing that in their lifetime. For some other people, I guess it's also a beneficial thing because it's given them very important lessons to continue their life with. So, we're going to discuss this topic today, and the case study is if you're someone who uses Nigerian blogs and social medias often, then you'll be aware of what's going on with the dancer Coral Bidi and her husband Justin Dean. They literally just had a child about 2 weeks ago, and then 1 week later, boom, the guy is like, "I'm filing for a divorce," and blah 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 blah. That's the story. But anyway, the link to the story, the links rather, will be added to this post, this podcast. Today we're just going to dissect it and look at that story, but also just the general idea of toxic relationships. So, Dada, tell us, what is your understanding of a toxic relationship?
All right, thank you, Aurikulewa. So, personally, for me, I would say a toxic relationship to one that is not beneficial to both parties. In a way, one is feeding off the other in terms of like a parasitic kind of a relationship. I'll see it as a relationship that is self-centered, that one party pride think of themselves above, the other party to their own detriment. So I would say that would consider a toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair. Very good point. For me, it's the same. I would consider those points to be a toxic relationship as well. Um, I like to go further to talk about something being toxic, even when it's not necessarily, the person isn't necessarily negative, but I feel like if being with someone impedes you from achieving your God given destiny, then for me, that's actually toxic to your existence as a human being. You only have one lifetime. And yeah, that's a sense of toxicity as well, not necessarily in a highly negative light, but yeah, that's something people should think about. If you're someone who is aware that you have a very special calling from God, you have to ask yourself, am I getting to the destiny that God had planned for me from day one with this person by my side or not? Right. And then, at that point, you should reevaluate and decide if you want to go further.
Yeah, I think that is another good point. But I will also feel that in such a situation, I would have expected that it's something both parties should have kind of discussed. Because if you are talking about a God-given mission or talent, I think it's important to be more specific now. Are you talking in terms of talent that you have as an individual that is imbibing you, or maybe a God's given talent in terms of you are given a ministry kind to achieve? Because I think this will be two different things. Because if it's a ministry and you go attach yourself to somebody who does not believe in God's given ministry, then I think such an individual kind of went and trapped themselves, with such a person. So yeah, so that's why I said I think it's important to also be clear in terms of the talent or God's talent you're speaking about.
That's a very valid point. And when you brought up the example of ministries, it just brought to mind the Ooni of Ife and his current Olori. I mean, current-ish. I'm not really sure if the marriage is still intact, because recently this year we heard that she moved out of the palace. But my point is, she's also a prophetess, right, of the Christian faith. He as well was, I guess, Christian, but of course, being called to the throne, he has to practice the religion of his forefathers, right? So there was obviously a sharp contrast in terms of the way that they worship God. And it's not impossible for a marriage to still work, but of course it comes with challenges. And I
Yeah.
wonder if those challenges were part of what caused the crash of the marriage, although she seemed to be very okay with marrying a king of such a strong traditional throne. But yeah, anyway, going back to your point, yes, it's a very critical thing to think about when you're called to ministry, or perhaps you're called to politics, for example, um, and then your partner is someone that is very anti the life that comes with being a politician, especially
Yeah.
in African climes. So these are some things to actually look forward to. How in line is this person with the destiny that God has in store for me? Um, so yeah, that's that. So I'll just take a brief Google definition of a toxic relationship. So this is by this website called Very Well Mind. And it basically says a toxic relationship is one that makes you feel unsupported, misunderstood, demeaned, or attacked. On a basic level, any relationship that makes you feel worse rather than better can become toxic over time. Toxic relationships can exist in just about any context, from the playground to the boardroom to the bedroom, which is important because in this conversation, we're dwelling on toxic relationships in terms of romance. But in fact, you can also have toxic relationships with your colleagues, with your boss, with your subordinates, with your friends, with anyone, really. But we're going to focus mostly on toxic relationships in a romantic light, and we'll touch on a bit in terms of like your social life, your friendships as well. And also, when I read this definition, something stood out to me, and it's something that's of importance to me when I'm involved with someone romantically. I look at it in hindsight and I say, do I feel better about myself with this person? Do I feel like an improved person? Sure, I may absolutely love this person. I may absolutely be smitten by this person, but I have to ask, with this man in my life, am I a better version of myself? Now, it's not the onus is not on him to necessarily come and just snap his fingers and magically make my life better. But if I'm feeling a sensation of I'm drowning, I'm a worse version of myself, I really have to go back to the drawing board and say, why is this happening? Because you should be an addition to my life. You should come with me to fight the battles of life. You shouldn't be a source of problems. And I have to ask, I'm feeling worse. Is it because of external things, or is this person really playing a factor in why I am less and why I am not necessarily thriving? Right? Even with you in my life, you should be the Adam to my life. You should be adding value to my life, right? So that's something that I really do advise people should do when you're involved with someone.
Now, sorry for cutting you. All those things that you said are
Mm,
okay. Now, do you
mm,
think that other external forces can play a role in how you also feel in a relationship? Say maybe childhood bad experiences,
mhm,
uh, maybe let's say maybe work or pressure external to the relationship
mm,
could
mm.
also make, I think it does make some people, feel bad.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And so this is why I said going back to the drawing board. So it's not a case of, oh, I'm feeling bad and it's coming from this person's personal experiences and blah, therefore automatically it's over. No, that's where we now have to go to the drawing board. I have to say, listen, I'm not feeling good and I'm feeling like you're contributing to this. What can we do to improve this? And let's see, is this person on purpose going out and drinking and coming back and being physically abusive? God forbid, but this is just a general example from movies that I've seen, right? That's an actual thing a person is doing willingly as an adult. Now, how can we help this situation? You go to therapy. You must be willing to do something to change that. Now, let's say, as you said, it's stress from work. These are also external things. What can we do to improve your situation? It's not such an issue that there are external impacts. My thing here is the person's willingness to work on that, right? How can we work on those external things? So those are things that are external. I was speaking more to like the person making a conscious decision to stress my life. That one is different. For example, cheating. You're actively just causing me stress to my mind. This one is not, no office is forcing you to go and cheat, please. So yeah. So whatever traumatic experiences the person has had in the past, that's fine. We're all human. It's like we have experiences, right? My question is, it's your responsibility. You're not necessarily responsible for what happened to you as a child, or as a teenager, or as a person previously, but you're responsible for the future ahead. You're responsible for your healing, right? And I'm here to work with you to do that, because I also don't come perfect, right? That's part of why you're adding value to my life. It's not just to add value to improve on my awesomeness, but it's also to deal with my flaws as well with me. And I want to do that with you. Are you willing as an adult, or do you need time? Because sometimes people just want to be zen. They want to just be left alone, just to just be in their feelings. That's also fine. But for me, that's where communication comes in, right? But again, going back to the drawing board again, it's just like piecing XYZ together and saying, okay, listen, this is the board. What do we do now to improve our situation? There are things that are happening in this situation. I'm doing my best to make you happy, make you thrive. I cannot do that 100% of the time, but to the best of my ability, I want to make you happy, right? I want to add value to life. I want you to feel like a better person. Right now, I'm not getting that vibe from you, and it's been going on for, I don't know, the last 10 months, right? That's quite a long time. So what can we do to improve the situation? And again, at that point, my eventual decisions come from that person's willingness to improve our situation.
Now, I think I also want to touch on that in a way. There's this thing. Well, sorry if I sound a bit spiritual.
No worries, please, by all means.
There's this scripture that talks about continuous working out your salvation. And continue working out your own salvation is about individual effort, because just like you said, the other party might not be 100% able to give optimal in terms of what you might be looking for or expecting. But the onus is also on such an individual, and I'm sure they will identify what are some of the issues that they are dealing with, and also make that individual effort, to see how they can help themselves too. Because I will speak personally about myself. I don't put my issues on other party or any person. I can't share my issue with you, but once I see that you are not able to do anything, I won't take it on you. So I would rather look at, okay, what can I do myself to get myself out of this, whatever it is that I think is pressurizing me, or that is probably turning me into something else, and try to, resolve those things. Then continue moving up with life and with the person I'm with. So that is my own approach, at times in a kind of a relationship.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, so yeah, that being said, uh, what for you are some identifiers of a toxic relationship, red flags? There's some basic commonalities, because of course toxic can be relative, right? But what are
Yeah.
just some basic common toxic traits for people to identify?
For me, I think I will look at if you're a self-centered person,
Mm.
once I noticed that trait, I think that for me is going to is a red flag, because once you're self-centered, there is no, every other thing is going to be attached to you. Probably
Yeah.
maybe cheating, uh, being like domineering, and all
Yeah.
those kind of things. So I'll just look at your self-centeredness kind of a thing, because like I said, people do mention a lot of red flags,
Yeah.
a lot, and but like I said, I'll just look at your self-centeredness, and once I say that you are not the type that think of others before you take actions or you do things, I think for me, I might just have to step back, from such a kind of a relationship. So that amidst so many red flags that people do talk about, so I think
Mm.
that would be one that I would just kind of look at and
Mm.
begin to say, okay, what other things comes with this person centeredness, and that I need to, look at. Because say, for example, if you can be self-centered, and you might not have forgiving spirits that comes with it too. And so
Mm.
if I do something and I have apologized, we've sat down, and then you're looking for an avenue to then, revenge,
Mm.
or, so yeah, I think that is what I will look out for.
Mm. Mm.
Like
Oh,
I said,
that's
there is
fine.
a lot, but
Yeah.
that was good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much for sharing. So, from my end, I think, and speaking to romantic relationships, also in friendships as well, for me, it's important to be respectful. A lack of respect, it just, it no, it blows my mind. I cannot for the life of me understand how you can look at a fully grown adult and
And I
say
think
that you,
it's like I said, it's still just attached to self-centeredness, because
yes,
if I'm just thinking about myself, I won't
yes,
give regard to you.
yes,
I
yes.
won't respect your opinion. I won't respect anything about you. I will just think
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm all over and above you in all ways. Talk
Yeah.
down on you.
Yes, exactly. So yes, when you talk about self-centeredness, you are looking at it from that's a more broader sense. I
Yeah,
was trying to drive more specifically to some
speak.
key areas. So again, that area of being disrespectful, and being disrespectful comes in very very different ways. People assume that it's just if you say, "Oh, you are stupid, you are an idiot." Yeah, that's disrespectful. Yes, but there's some other subtle ways in which someone can disrespect you. It could be from their actions, the way that they interact with other people. If you're in a romantic situation, for example, right? I'm quite traditional in my approach romantically, but as a person, I'm generally quite liberal and very adventurous and stuff. But at the end of the day, you still have to have common sense, some kind of boundaries you should have, some kind of things you cannot say and do when you have a husband, when you have a boyfriend, right? Not just because when you are single, you're free to just do whatever, but you have to think about how does my action impact the reputation of my partner. Do you know what I mean? And if you're moving mad, quote unquote, without considering how the way that you behave. In fact, it's beautiful that you respect me when I'm there, but for me, even when I'm not there, you should be on your best behavior as well. Because what you are doing is reflecting on me as a person. That's just an individual thing. I mean, people are different, right? But I just feel like, yeah, if you're moving mad when I'm not there, and on the streets I'm coming back and hearing, wild stories about your character, it's like, for me, that's still disrespectful. It's still disrespectful. The fact that I'm associated with you should already like motivate you to be a better person with or without me. I appreciate that you respect me when I'm there. That's fine. You definitely get mega points for that. But when I'm not there, what are you doing? Right? You're not single, so don't act single. Um. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
because just again, when you talked about when you are not there, and you're beginning to hear stuff,
Mm,
you know of course there's a, and it's and I will take it in the line of when people in the environment knows that your partner is cheating on you, and
yeah.
you are not aware,
Yeah. You
and
now be looking like a mug, looking like a
I,
dickhead.
Exactly. And as you walk past, they will greet you. Once you pass on, like everybody start talking like, oh, only if she knew, or only if he
Yeah.
knew, those kind of things. So yeah, so those are kind of things that even without, being present with such a person, respect is still shown. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do
And
agree
you
with that.
too now, you now be looking like a muppet. Now we say, oh my God, this person, oh my so amazing girlfriend, oh my so amazing boyfriend,
But,
oh
but,
my
but, but
God.
it's still, yeah, yeah. Well, it's easy for you to go in that. But then, what of if you're dealing with with someone who has perfected the heart of pretense that to
Yes,
you, such a person does not appear to have such character or behavior
exactly,
when
exactly.
they
And
are
those
so,
people,
so
they abound in our
yeah.
generation. Those
So
people.
even when people are, when you start hearing the other side, you will be like, what are these people talking about?
Exactly, because you can, and oh my God, I think that's the most painful and dangerous thing. It's because you just spend so much time trying to reconcile who this
Mm-hmm.
person is because you have this entire personality in your head and you're trying to understand how this can be possible, and I think that's, yeah, it's a very slippery slope. It's very, and it's very dangerous for your mental health as well, because it's you battling reality as well, because your
Mm-hmm.
reality is that this is an amazing human being, but then you are hearing of this other character which cannot be possible for the kind of person that you have in your mind, or the person that's
Mm-hmm.
presented to you. So yeah, for me, I also think that's a form of wickedness, and I think that's actually quite evil. I consider such
Mm-hmm.
evil, like the spawns of the devil. But yeah, oh, yes, really, really, because that's definitely not of God. Definitely not of God, and if it's not from God, it's coming from somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And if they are such an expert liar too, as
Mm.
in the kind of lie, and it's even very interesting that sometimes, and I think it does happen, that even as women, you
Mm.
just know that this person is lying,
Mm. Your instinct will
and
tell you, yeah.
somehow you just feel cool about it and just overlook it. Well, it baffles me when I see
Oh,
women,
actually, you're
you
right.
know,
It's so true. You're actually right.
because at that point too, it just shows that even because when you're also talking about being respected, I think you
Yeah.
should also respect yourself. And
True.
respect
True.
yourself is
True.
such that you don't accommodate. I'm not like you are trying to destroy the relationship, but that you draw a clear line that no, you can't be lying,
Mm-hmm.
and let it be established that no, this is unacceptable. Because
Yeah.
immediately you know that the person is lying and you just moan over it, and then everybody
Yes.
returns, it's going to
Yes.
repeat itself again. So
Oh,
in
for
such
sure.
a way,
For sure.
so if you're expecting respect, I think you also respect yourself, that the other party knows that, okay, with this person, it is a no-no, regardless.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I 100% agree with you, and I cannot see it any way differently. So when you first made that point, I was thinking in terms of like, you know, a woman seeing the best in the person. Not, I didn't even think of the line of she actually is aware the person is lying. That's a different ball game, because it's one
Mm-hmm.
thing when you still see the best in them, you're not able to reconcile. But the moment that you know that this person is a liar, like that there's nothing left to talk about for me anyway. I just feel like, because you're fully aware. You're not a 2-year-old, 8-year-old little child who's scared. You're a fully grown adult. So you consciously decided to take me for idiot. It was a
Mm-hmm.
conscious
Mm-hmm.
decision, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, in that moment, it's a no-brainer. It's, I wish you the best of luck. Of course, I'll be broken, but it's very clear what needs to be done. And the only solution to that for me is to walk away, right?
Mm.
The moment that realization, that reality is there, that you are lying to me, so you're
Well,
consciously keeping me in hell on
yeah.
purpose,
So what of
because
if
it's not
now it is in a marriage now where you still walk away?
okay. So
If
then
I'm
the
to
dynamics are different in
the
that case.
dynamics are different, yeah.
And being African, and in the long run, I would imagine I would also marry someone African, and so similar backgrounds. You're marrying not just yourself, you're marrying families, as far as
Mm-hmm.
I have been raised, and the sort of situation that if it's the will of God, I will be in. So it goes
Mhm.
beyond the both of you. You don't just up and just snap your fingers and walk away, right? So
Mhm.
then there will
Mhm.
be, of course, trying to solve it between both of us. Ideally, we would be of a similar faith. So this way, we would obviously go to the priest, involve our parents. So in the courtship period, you want to see the kind of family the person comes from. Are these people like, are they for you? Are they the kind of people that are like big on the institution of marriage? You know,
Mhm.
what is the antecedent in that family in terms of like marriage? How do they
Mhm.
deal? Does the person have other siblings? How do they deal with that, the siblings' marriages in that family? So
Mhm.
yeah, you would call a family meeting, and obviously you don't want to marry someone that doesn't have people that he respects. You want to see that he respects his parents, he respects his siblings,
Mhm.
he has people that can hold him accountable, same as you, right? And so you call those
Yeah.
people to the drawing board. Of course, that's not the first step you take, right? But
Yep.
if you've been trying to work it out because it's a marriage, there are kids involved, you then bring in these people on board, and you guys look for a solution
Yeah.
from there. Tack,
I
tack, tack.
was waiting for you to really be very definitive in terms of, the phases before you get to the
Yes,
issue
because it's
of
not like,
like
oh,
that.
the first fight, people just gonna report. Come on, you guys
Mhm.
want to see things out together.
Mhm.
It's like when it starts
Mhm.
to get out of hand, you're like, okay, since you are too big for me, Oga. No, you're bigger than me. I'll be okay. That's fine. The people that raised you, let them come and see the quality of son they brought to come and marry me. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's that. So there are definite phases to it. But for me in relationships, because the way I look at it in a relationship, right? Knowing my if you're dating me, you know my values on marriage. So
Yeah.
you know that I can walk out of a relationship like this. You now still dare me. You're double daring me. You want to see what I can do. Okay. I will
Mhm.
leave you in the
Mhm.
bin. I will leave you because for me that's a massive insult. You know that I can walk away and you still did what you did. That means you're telling me actually you don't care. So if you care
Yeah.
so little now, what do you do to me when you know that I am it's gonna be difficult for me to walk away. It's gonna be impossible for me to walk away. So you can do that
Mhm.
now, then that means if I have to run away from someone like you because you're
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
If you had the
Yeah.
guts to do that today, what do you do tomorrow when I already have kids or we're married?
Yeah. 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 But then you say again, well, I think you've spoken in the line of, you know, two people in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because again, when you're married, like I said, a lot of dynamics comes
Mm,
into play. And, there's the issue of people also changing, in the marriage. I think that's
yeah.
another discussion on its own anyway. But then
Mm,
one just never know what to expect.
mm,
You can just only wish that, whosoever you are in with in that union,
yeah.
keeps to themselves, and keep improving for both of you and for you to have a very, joyous and glorious union. Yeah.
Mm. Yes, that's true. That's very true. Wow, you're really. I'm supposed to be the interviewer, but I'm so pumped about this topic. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. When it comes to issue of man and woman, it gets people popped up like,
yes, yes,
this like union between two people, it seems like, a very important aspect of the society.
yeah,
How humans are able to relate with each other. It's what makes us as humans, it's what makes us as a society. And
yeah,
so how we really, really, relate with each other, sparks, brings a lot of energy because you can see that people desire the best. You
yes.
get me? But then it requires a lot of efforts
Mm.
out to make the best out of it.
Yes, yes, and adding on to the whole toxicity, that whole I'm talking about lies, that dishonesty thing is a big deal for me because if I'm thinking of my life partner, if you want to lie down in bed with me for the rest of my life, I'll wake up and sleep next to you. I should be able to trust you. For me, with my life partner, I
Mhm.
should be able to trust you with my life. You should be able to trust me
Yeah.
with your life. If you're
Yeah.
lying to me, I don't know who you are. I really don't know who you are. You're my
Hmm.
enemy. You can wake up and stab
Yeah.
me in the night. You can wake up and I don't know. I am very paranoid about some things, but I just feel like how can you open your mouth and just not even just once, not twice, and you will sleep well at night knowing that you are lying to me? You come and talk to me with your chest, knowing that you're lying to me. How? How can you sleep and just be easy with yourself? So that kind of thing. Once I find out that kind of thing, you're dangerous to me. And
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, to take a miracle from God. I don't know how you can explain that. I don't know how you can earn my trust again. That would take a literal miracle from God
Yeah, and I
because I
think
don't
it's
see how.
something because I think that's one thing people don't really understand. That the moment I say, "Oh, Orekilewa, I want us to be together," at that point starts the level of trust building. and you can build that for years, and a moment of truth will
Mm.
make you feel like, so what I've been building over the years are all lies.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it has a way that it shatters, you. And even if you decide to forgive, it means that you also both of you have to spend another maybe couple of years to rebuild that trust again.
Yes, exactly.
Are you getting me?
And
So,
that's a
you
billion
know,
dollar question. Is your partner willing to go, like if they're not married to you, are they willing to? Because it's a lot. It's a very
there's a lot.
much more difficult for the person that was lied to than for the liar to
Mm-hmm,
rebuild that trust. You're
mm-hmm,
asking a lot of that for that from that person mentally and
mm-hmm.
emotionally, and it's like why.
Yes.
And so just to add to what you said, it's true that just a moment of lie can throw away many years of truth. But I like to just advise people on that and say that it's for me anyway, not to take sides with liars, and I'm absolutely against that in loving situations, romantic situations. But it's not very fair that a person that has been good 9 times, 90% of the time, just that one small lie now, or just that one, sorry, not like just that one mistake now, and then boom, everything good, you just throw it away and focus on the bad. No, for me, that's why I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like to go
yeah.
back to the drawing board. I want to see the circumstances surrounding that lie. What was the lie? What happened? I want to look at the entire situation and see the danger that was involved in it, like what it must have taken for you to do that. That gives me what actually even inspired you to tell that lie. You see what I mean? So I want to look at the
Mm-hmm,
global picture before I decide on just how dangerous you are. Am I going to be willing to and also the biggest thing about that is the person even sorry that they lied. Are
mm-hmm,
they going to do it
mm-hmm.
again? Do they want to work on that? Then we can now go back to the drawing board and say, okay, you lied. Okay, I can see the circumstances and blah and blah and blah. Okay, I can try. Let's see. It's gonna be difficult, but let me try. But there's a kind of lie somebody can lie to you. They will just be lying this lie for like years on end. You'll be like, no, this one is definitely the devil's brother. No, forget about it. No kind of forgive. No kind of work I can work on this one. All the good you've been doing, you are definitely it was demonic good. Go away.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So that's another angle. So anyway, that being said, do you have any personal experiences of a toxic relationship that you'd like to share with us to advise us, or are there experiences you've heard about, maybe like in your village or from people that you know? You can keep them anonymous, or things that you've seen online, things that you've heard about, like Omo, this thing happened in 1960 something, or Omo, this happened in 1912, or don't allow yourself to be a victim, or this is what you should do in that kind of situation, or things like that.
Well, if it is about hearing other people's experience, I can tell you that even right from childhood, we've been hearing
Mm.
stories,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, stories upon story. Even till now, we are still
Mm.
hearing stories, and I can tell you in the future, there's still gonna be stories.
Mm.
So, if you're talking about toxic, okay, if I want to talk based on personal experience now, well, in my own personal experience, my own serious relationship actually led to uh, uh, we getting married. You get so
Oh.
there's not like I was into so many relationships before, and so in terms
Oh
of maybe
shit,
having
Jesus baby. Pastor
so
Dada. Wow.
relax. So it's not that I never made attempts. Of course, I did make attempts, but
Mm.
sisters were not just gelling. You get it? So,
Mm.
but then
Sisters in
at
the
the
Lord, they were not
yeah,
jelly.
yeah,
Wow.
well, and even some sisters in the world too, you know,
Okay.
they were yeah. So yeah, I was, and the person I joined with, you know, she's fantastic in her own way. But then, I would say there was this issue of emotional abuse and physical assault, that came from, dealing with her. There were times that, at first, it got so bad that at times, sometimes I would look at myself, be like, okay, guy, are you really the problem? Is that bad? In fact, there was a time I think I decided that, okay, you know what, let's even understand if I'm triggering this person one way. And so I intentionally decided, like, okay, I won't even give room for any kind of fight. But I noticed that this person is such that I think it's like they are not okay with if there is no negativity, happening.
Mm.
That was my observation because like I noticed that before a month finish, once we are entering the third week, are you getting me? Like something will just come up. Something will just come up. I'll be
Oh,
like,
I said that was not village problem. Maybe the person was in the
I,
village. Like,
I,
wow, wow, wow. 1 week, 2 weeks,
yeah,
3 weeks. Oh yeah,
yeah. And for you to know that, for you to even say like, it got so bad that I also observed something that anytime we have rancors and issues start popping up and we are having this, rifts in our relationship, I also noticed that those times things seems to be working fine for me. Like I can just get this job, I can just
Hey,
it's
Karishika.
so it now became that once a new month is coming like that, I'm like, so I don't know whether we'll fight this month, but whatever good that is going to come with this
Mm.
fight, don't let me miss it. And it got my mindset tuned to the fact that even myself, I'm always like, okay, fight should come so that whatever goodness I'm going to receive, I'm going to get it. And I don't think that is a very healthy one. I
Mm.
shouldn't be, saying or thinking that, okay, we are fighting, and, it comes, and, you women, you have this, your very sharp mouth that can raise the beasts in some. Uh, so, and I was like, no, this is not the right, thing to. And I think over time that I've had to sit her down and say, look, woman, if someone does, or if someone is not close enough to you, they wouldn't know that you are capable of good thing. Even from outside now, the way people even sees you, like, they don't even believe what you speak. And if not that I'm close to you, that I can say, okay, giving her the benefit of doubt, she's capable of good. See, you've let your mouth, totally destroy whatever it is that you and the truth is that she too, she's also very aware that she has that problem.
Mm.
I get it. But the problem now is working on it.
Yeah.
Like you have the
Which goes back to
issue
what I had said before, right? When you are with a partner, it's not just about I've identified a problem. It's listen, darling, this is an issue for me.
mm, mm,
Maybe you have another woman that will like love this about you. For me, what can we
mm.
do to work on this? Is the person willing to work on those issues or not?
To work on those, yeah.
Yeah.
I open scriptures and the likes. Like, look. I also remember that there were times I was filled with anger, and I think if this is the path I took that helped me to address the issue of anger, that you know for you to even get into the point of being angry, it must really you must really try, because I've just been able, by God's grace, to be able to just overlook people's bullshit and then do my things without being affected. So make efforts. It's not like it's impossible, and it's like, okay, I will do it, but next, before you know it, an issue will come and you are back to square one,
Mm.
all over again. So yeah, so those were big. Then there was even another one I wanted to share. Just keep my mind now. Probably if I remember, I will come back to it.
Okay. So
So
based on what you said, I wanted to ask Tiffany. You said that whenever there's fighting, good things happen, or whenever there's no fight, good things happen.
whenever there is fight, good things happen to me.
Ah,
Like
um,
maybe I've applied for something, I will just say like, okay, your application is successful, or like, oh, you've been selected. And when I look at the, like I said, like I was being intentional about not just cursing or causing fight with this person,
I'm trying to understand. So when there's fights, as you people don't talk to each other, so you're more productive,
yeah,
or
like
is the fight itself that is spiritually bringing goodness? I don't. I'm not.
well,
I'm not understanding.
I don't even know how to better explain it. Like
Ah.
when we okay, like when we fight, of course, I'm the type that when I'm angry, I know I'm angry, so the best is for me to seal my mouth and properly walk away and get myself to get that anger to calm down. So at that period in time, I'm probably not speaking to you. Are you getting me? So, because as long as I realize that, okay, you know what, uh, this issue that we are fighting about didn't stem from me, stem or didn't start with me. So, I will just keep awake. Are you getting me? And, and those moments in time, that is when I just say that, okay, uh, something that I probably applied months before the fight or something will just come through, like, because I'm constantly doing a lot of stuff, trying this, try that. I just see things will just be okay. Somebody can even, maybe somebody that is owing me debt, we just credit my account. I'll be like, wait, so why is it that anytime we're having this kind of issues and fighting, that I'm always kind of experiencing. So I'm beginning to kind of see, well, I don't want to say I'm seen as a blockage to
That's not blockage, though. Somebody's fight that is bringing good luck.
like
That
so
one is good.
so
Good fight.
well, like I said, at the point I just had to like recall my senses back, like, okay, now look, I can't, because like I said, it came to a certain time, like I'm always looking forward to our something because I know she will definitely start something. Something will just enter, she will just start something. Because like I said, I've made it like, look, you are my woman, and I don't think
My woman,
I should be,
my everything.
I should
My
be,
woman, I go feed buy you anything. My
so yeah,
woman, oh.
that was it. And like I said, I later had to call her. I didn't tell her that, okay, this is what I've been observing with
Yeah.
anytime we fight, but like, look, you can't just keep up with this, attitude. And I think at that point, I even kind of gave her boundaries to, as I say, look, if you can't uh, uh, control yourself, please just, I don't know, go talk to pastors, even if it's me as a person you are, because that is another thing. Yeah, it's different when you see somebody trying to even help you with your issue. It's another thing if you are ready to. So, and I noticed that even if when I'm advising her on some things, the same thing I'm advising you, an outsider will come. We say the almost similar to the same thing, and you will now be saying, "Oh, I'm acting." I'll be like, "So, how is what the outsider said to you different from what?" So she's also the type that she would rather take word from an outsider as against the person that you have at home. Now, the other thing I said I wanted to remember, and there was also this issue of constant comparison, you know, or comparing me to some other men, to sister's husband, like, well, there was one time I said, look, if that is the case, then go and marry those people, eh? Leave me, yeah, leave me alone. So I understand that, of course, these are some of, marital issues that could arise with two people. I was prepared for it, but then, it's now also left if your other partner too is also prepared to make effort to make things work. Yeah. So I think that is a bit of my own, uh, toxic, and of course
Oh
issue
wow.
with getting physical sometimes.
Hey,
So
hey, that's another thing because you mentioned something before. I was gonna also ask the question. What do you mean by that?
physical. When I talk about physical, you throw blows now.
Who's throwing the
But
blows here?
okay, now in our own case, I had the first. She threw the first blow at me, and I was like, okay, woman. In fact, that first time situation of she hitting me, it came as a shock. Like, okay, oh, they talk say make you know they eat woman back, oh, and here is a woman eating me. So in fact, she did and even spoil some of my other properties. And I was, in fact, at that point in time, I could remember, in fact, that anger that came over me that day also made me to be scared of being angry. You know, an anger that, I could sense electricity coming from my stomach.
Wow.
I mean, like, for my years of saying, oh, I've perfected, or God has granted me that grace to be able to overlook anger, and it's a different ball game if you're with someone that is meant to be your woman. You understand?
Mm.
And they're not the ones staring. Like at that point, with all the verbal insult and the eating that I was receiving, I just knew that I was not hearing again the all she was saying. Electricity was popping up from my mid stomach. My
Wow.
left hand was vibrating automatically.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
like I can't control how my left hand was. And at that point in time, the only thing I was hearing in my head, like, don't let it control you. Don't let it control you. Ah, man. And of course, I know like somebody was speaking, but I was not hearing what somebody, I just knew like somebody, as the sound was, that was, and at that time I was like, man, what even came? Because I know that if I was to act based on how I was feeling that day, because I was like, man, maybe I would have finished this lady at that point in time. That it is when my eyes cleared I will know that may have done, something. So at that point, I also began to like pay attention to myself to like, okay, now, you know, this is another phase, fear of game entirely. Like, hey, what the hell was that? And we resolved over that. Then again, there was another issue again. She
Did you
attacked
take it to
again.
the family? Did you take this first
No,
issue to
no,
the
no, no,
family?
no, 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 no. Because for me, my belief was that my issue is with my family, with my immediate. I don't have to go to a third party.
Mm.
Are you getting me? So we can both sit down and address, our issue. In fact, that people know that there were problems in the family was I itself even going to report to people. I never for once even had to call any third party. And
That's
so,
another thing about it. Why didn't you do it? Was it because you're, oh, I'm a man, let me not do that, or just your
uh,
personality?
well, I think that also play an important factor. That being a
Okay.
man, I should be able to address the issue of my own. I
Mm.
needed not to, copy because, well, at that point in time, I still felt okay. I think this is just one off experience, so uh, we can sit it out. You understand?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So
Okay.
that's when
So the
then there
second thing
was.
you are going to say. Yeah.
So then there was the other second situation again, and this time there was a third party. Um, the way like, you know, if you have a third party and both of you get involved in physicality kind of a situation, and when they are calling, if police arrive, and they will be able to say, so I just let her to be eating me, and when I got myself, and I saw that the way she was eating me so that I can also eat her back.
Yeah.
So because there's also this thing with some women, well, will I say some women? Let me say some women that when you ignore their negativity and their attack, it's even infuriates them more.
Mm.
Maybe they are insulting you and you decide to keep quiet. It's even, or you are ignoring their insult. And I said, okay,
Mm.
if what you're looking for is that you're hitting me, and this third party that is here will also be a witness that we both, yeah, I won't give you that you're looking for. So I got you head on the head, blah blah blah. Well, got myself together, just left the house, and let the cold weather, you know rest of my head and all the hit points to pull the just to get my mind. I was
Cold
running.
weather. So in this time you were in a western location where it's
Yeah, I
cold, where
was
you
in
have
a, yeah,
winter.
yeah, I was
Do
in a
you think that
Western.
the dynamics would have been different if you were in Africa? Do you think she would have been doing that and calling the police and hitting you to get a reaction if you were in
Well,
Nigeria or some other country, for example?
you never can tell because even in Nigeria, don't we see situation where wife beat up husband?
Hmm.
So one
No,
can
no. My
really tell.
question is more. This happens everywhere globally. That's true. My question was more to, from what you said, there was a third party, so she was doing this to push you, so the third party will be a witness, and she's also calling the police. I'm saying in Nigeria she would still have done it, but do you think that that confidence of police is going to come right now? There'll be a third party or whatever. Do you think that would have been the same sort of approach should have
Reaction.
come from
Yeah,
trying to
well,
get a reaction to get you into trouble with police, for example?
yeah, I think that would have also have been my same reaction. I want to assume. You never can tell, but I want to
Not
assume
your
that.
reaction. I'm talking about from her, because it seemed like she was trying to push you on purpose to get you into
Ah,
trouble with the police.
well,
So I'm saying, do you
like I
think
said,
she would have come with that approach in Nigeria
I
as well?
don't know. I
Nigerian
don't
police
know.
that will say, "Madam, you go buy our fuel." What a
Uh,
hell.
you, you see, that's another. I think it might not, given the dynamics of Nigeria, because
Yeah,
the stuff is where will you call and
yeah.
police answer you that they will say go and settle yourself now. But you are in another on
I
this
mean that
Western
was that
time.
was a joke. That was a joke.
Uh,
Nigerian police
you
is
know,
improving by the grace of God these days.
Amen, no, amen, no, amen, no, amen, no. But then there is this other part that that you're in a society that supports women, and even if she says that, after like I've had of a situation in Nigeria couple too, that the wife just came back from work, the husband welcomed her, and he said, okay, let me get you something to eat. The husband went into the kitchen. The wife went upstairs. And all of a sudden, she just started screaming, screaming. And the husband was like, what happened? The husband rushed upstairs, saw the wife with knife having cut herself.
Ah,
And the husband like, what is happening? And he tried to he collected the knife from her, and just a few minutes to collecting the knife and screaming, there was a knock on the door. And as they were knocking, and there was like people were struck because he was trying to struggle the knife away from her, and so he collected the knife, then tried to go downstairs because there was so much banging on the door. He got downstairs, opened the door. It was the police. And so the
mm,
police come down. The husband was even calling like, please, oh, like my wife is trying to hurt herself, and the police saw that he was holding the knife. Are you getting me?
mm.
And by the time they got to the wife, she was like, he's trying to kill me.
Ah.
You know what? You know, that is how the husband got robbed. In attempted murder case, and the guy is pulling his life inside prison.
Oh, what? I don't understand. Why did she do that? What did he do to her?
That nobody really knows why she did that, but for whatever best known to her, she wanted to get rid of the man. So maybe stuff has been happening over the years, and she just felt, what is the best way to get rid of this man? It's all part of the
Mm.
toxicity we are talking about now, like,
Um,
well, and like I said, the man is cooling off, in the cell. So, given the Western time, things system work that people can create pains, and you know, all the evidence points to the other person. Are you getting me? And so for myself too, like on that particular instance, I've been realized that okay, now there is a third party that's okay. If I react the way I should, and when she was already screaming like I will call the police on you, I'll call the police on you, and I'm getting it at the same time, like hit me back if you dare, hit me back. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm not going to hit you back. Oh, I just got myself off that situation, and then
mm,
out into the space, and you know and after that, of course, we still settled, move on with our life. Then there was another one again happened.
uh-huh.
So okay, so I think that the last one that one that then happened before the last one, I was like, I sat her down. I said, okay, you know what? Don't I think probably maybe you are taking my quietness and calmness for stupidity. You understand? And I said, you know what? I understand that as couples, we cannot evade not having issues.
That's one thing I really hate in this life, eh?
Yeah,
Being I hate when people take my simplicity for stupidity.
yeah.
I really
I,
hate it.
I think what they don't really understand is that you see, God helping some people. It's not like they don't have this other nature in them, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe by maybe through salvation or something, they
Yeah.
have put down those, because like I said, given my own experience, I could sense like a beast was awakening in me. Like I could just feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could feel it. It was like a sleeping beast that has been sleeping for
What?
years.
What?
And now something is feeding it. Like you see all this attack and you'll be like, what is, and I have to like pay attention to myself. Like, okay, what is happening to me? Like,
Yeah.
I could just feel that madness in me. Like this beast
Wow.
wants to
Wow.
manifest itself. But,
Yeah.
again, I still just have to like,
And what you
uh,
just said is really big. Given what you described, that level of anger that was in you, and somehow by the grace of God, you're able to like calm it down. There's a book I'm currently reading. It's called "Why You Act the Way You Do." It's by this Tim LaHaye. I'm gonna also include the link to an online PDF so that you and other listeners who are interested can read it. And it's really true. Like we all have different temperaments, and you cannot take people's simplicity for stupidity just because they have the grace to like curb or to manage certain situations doesn't mean that you should take them for a ride. Don't take them for idiots. Because one
yeah,
day that beast can be unleashed. You're gonna be like,
yeah.
wow, I never experienced it.
Yeah, and so after that, I was like, okay, you know what? I understand dynamics of two people together. That you, where this does not mean that it's all going to be smooth ride. There's going to be times we are going to have rifts. That I perfectly understood, and I said, I can accept and accommodate your verbal abuse and other. I said that I think I'm able to also take in and then overlook. I said, but this issue of you eating me, I was like, let this particular situation be the last time in your life.
Um, when the Nigerian says, "Let this be the first and the last," that's when you
Yeah.
know that
I,
levels have
said,
changed.
I said, you know what, let it be the last time ever in your life you will ever. I said, look, you know what?
Oh my days.
Just abuse, just do whatever you want to do, but don't
Yeah,
touch me. Just don't touch me.
yeah, yeah.
And again, like I said, I believe sit out issues and
Can
say,
I just
okay,
pause you? Why that
okay,
that
sorry.
that was very loud to me because I think I can count on one hand the times in my life I've said that let this be the first and the last. And when I say that last, on God, I'm very tiny like this, so but I know that in that moment I'm telling that person that last, right? I'm double daring you, double daring your life, your entire ancestry, everything. Because in that
Mm,
moment, my head is just my whole home train is on the floor. I've dropped on the floor and I'm ready to die on the line there. When I tell you that last, it means you just try me. You just dare your life and try me one more time. Just try it. So when you are saying that, I'm just imagining what must have been going through your mind when you were saying, and calmly,
yeah,
let this be the
mm.
last time. Wow.
Because I just felt at that point that I think sometimes when you begin to accommodate some things, it becomes like, oh, you can just do anyhow you like. But
Yeah.
I feel people should understand that it's just like grace being extended to you.
Mm.
And when you begin to take that grace for granted, it gets taken off, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever you get back, they don't. Also, it's what you should. It's what you will get. It's what you give that you get back. So I
Mm.
just like, what, this should be the last time in your life. I said, do anything else you want to do, but please just don't touch me. Are you getting me? And that was it. And as again, the devil rears ugly head again. But this particular incident, I was mad and furious. Like I just know that look, I got out of the environment like in the morning, then come back to like midnight, you know. So came back and I entered. She was like, "Where are you coming from?" I said, Mama, please, oh, I didn't even come home to come and sleep. I just came to get some stuff and I'm getting out, you know, of this place. This environment is not okay. And was like, no, you're not. I said, you know what? Eh? I can see that you're about to touch me. Don't touch me. Eh? And it was like, who are you? Who are you that
Oh,
at that point, I think either another blow or slap, I can't even remember what I collected at that point. For every single, hit that came from her, I was doubling it. Like,
oh my God, I feel so bad to be laughing. Oh,
yeah, well, it's all right. I double every single one. I was doubling it back for her. At that point, I could even see the shock on her face, like, what happened? So immediately, I just went upstairs. Followed me, tried to pull me down through the staircase. I hit her double again, like, don't touch me, I told you. Like, she almost slept, and I wasn't even giving a fuck about whatever happened if she slept. You know, went upstairs, now pulled down the curtain of the room, like, you know what, let the whole street see what is happening so that whatever worst case you want to paint, they won't say that you know, you won't paint a picture that maybe I was the one. At least the whole street will see that we gave it to each other, as it is. At that point, she stopped eating. She only locked me up, and the stuff again was that I also discovered something crazy that night too, which I don't think I'm going to be sharing. But then,
I beg your pardon.
at
You
that,
said what?
I said that incident too
Yeah.
also reveal another thing about her that night, which, like I said, I'm not going to be sharing publicly,
Of
but
course,
then,
no worries.
and I was also shocked, like, okay, and what she exhibited kind of points to what I see with that, like, she's the type that probably is gonna, she has some kind of inclination for violence, and I was like, at that night, I was like, okay, looks like this is gonna be a long drive for me if we are gonna be in this, relationship. So, that is, getting pushed, at that point in my, life. Not like I would say I enjoyed doing what I did, you get, but then I could also say that she never did
I'm sorry, I didn't
expected it.
get the last thing you said. Something about the relationship and pushing.
How did I even say that again? Well, let me drive back.
You
Like
said
I said, okay.
something else was revealed that night, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, I said something. Yeah, something that was revealed that night, which, of course, like I said, made me to realize that I think she has some kind of inclination to
to
violence,
violence. Yeah, huh? Yeah.
and so and other event that happened afterward, and I'm like, okay, I think I've got a long ride, you know, to take with this woman if this is how things is, going to be. And, it's not like something that, oh, that incident is something that I should say, oh, I'm happy about. But then, sometimes you get pushed, even they say if you get pushed, but my reaction that day was just to just make it known to her that, you know what, you can't keep doing this shit of you, always being violent and think that I decide not to react means that you are the boss or something. Say no. Are you getting? So yeah, so that's about us being, finding myself in such a kind of a toxic situation. So with other many experiences that are out there that we get to see to and hear of.
Mm. Wow, that was deep. Thank you so much for it. For me anyway, it takes a lot of vulnerability to come out and share that with us, and I hope that the listeners, you all can learn a lot from this, and apply it to your marriages and to your dating life. Now, can I ask a question, which for me is actually quite a big deal when I listen to uh, married couples, both the positive and the negative things that happen in the journey of marriage. These not things that you saw before the marriage? How long did you date before you married this person? And yeah,
Well, like my own dating experience is not, I say it's not the usual type that,
I don't mean dating other people. I mean this particular person.
in this particular, yeah, I'm talking about this particular situation as well too. In that, well, this is somebody I think, I would say I think I know, someone that I don't think I've seen from afar, those kind of any kind of bad character or anything that can raise flag for me
Mm.
to say, okay, um, this is the kind of person. I just know
Wow.
that, okay, if there's one thing I think I can say, I know that she's not good with is, relationship, human relationship, friendship, relating with people, kind of a thing. So I think that, but that to me wasn't really a big of an issue. I'm a relationship kind of a person. I take my relationship, friendship, and all those things kind of very serious.
Yeah.
So that's, like I said, looking at her from afar back, because of course I do study, and what I study, I felt, this is not a bad person, as it is. And of course, it's also of the Christian faith. So,
Mm.
and it was until the whole thing was sealed that the characters,
Wow.
start popping up.
Which is something we're always very warned about as young, well, those of us like, pre-marriage, they're warned about in our dating lives. You have to stay guided. A
Yeah.
woman, a man, but especially women. My friend mother actually said this thing, that women fear women, right? Not we are amazing people. We have so many strengths. But if a woman wants to pretend for you, a lie, she date her for 20 years, she will pretend, she will act the part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just get married, pum, just when that ring just comes, you will now see her true colors. You
Yeah.
yourself, you will be shocked. But we all pray to have a good partner in a wife, to have a
Yeah.
good. We pray the same with men as
It,
well. Men too,
it,
they will embarrass you, right? But let's
it,
focus, since the topic today is based on like from a man to woman situation. Women, they can act the part to get that ring,
yeah.
however long it takes.
Even people that knew me, that knew her too, were like shocked when they even hear story like, is
Yeah.
this person like this? So, in fact, in fact, another one was, like, let's say we sealed today,
Mm.
okay, let's say we sealed yesterday,
Mm.
and the following day, in fact, that I would consider the first fight, in the wedding, and the verbal attack that came.
What?
That
One day after the wedding,
after, yeah, one day after the wedding, I'm like,
um,
okay,
wow, she didn't
how
even waste time, but
I am telling, and I'm like, oh my, and I think, well, for me being newly wedded and all loved up and everything, I said, okay, okay, okay,
you never
because
experienced it.
not like, well, I never experienced it, and I just brush it away, like, okay, well, you know, marriage don't start with that now, we start rubbing against each other and then refine tuning. You getting, but I never knew that there were more to that is on the way coming. You understand? So you just never can tell. You just only pray that you get the best. So sometimes when you're just listening to even unmarried people speaking, I would just be laughing from here like these people never know anything. Some of them are just
Who, unmarried
daydream.
people, you said?
Yeah, unmarried people.
Okay.
You just be daydreaming, fantasizing.
Uh,
I would do this, I would do that. Enter and first, and you will see.
no, but some of these people, of course, it's. I feel like it's a very select few people that actually just have that. Would I call it the grace? Did they actually know? Did they actually take the necessary steps? Because I'm getting at the point that some people actually just have a blissful 100 years of marriage, and I'm asking, what did they do differently from people that did not have that? You know what I mean?
Let me
It's
ask
just
you
is
a
it just
question.
grace?
When you talk about blissful, does
There
it
are
even?
challenges,
Yeah, of course.
external challenges, but I'm saying to themselves, they are just like they are literally really what the Bible says. They're literally one. They are not the problem for the other for their partner. You see what I mean? Problems
Mm,
are external. They fight the battles of life together, but they are never. They're consciously always making an effort to always make the other person's life happy. And
you have finished the statement. Like is a
the conscious
conscious
thing, yes,
effort.
yes,
Conscious
exactly,
efforts to be one.
yes,
You
yes.
know,
That's true.
even like she will be doing. Oh, they said our union is going to be a blissful one. It's going to be a glorious one. I say I don't know. I understand. I think I just said it to her jokingly like that. Are you ready for what it takes to build a glorious and a joy and a
Very
bliss?
important. Are
Because
you ready for what it
because
takes?
if the devil recognize that your union is going to bring into the world the next Jesus Christ, you think the
Mm,
devil will fold its hand and will not, throw
mm,
things into. So you must be ready to work at that relationship no matter what. Things are going to shake both of you. And
mm.
if you begin to see me or any other thing as an enemy, then it becomes a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, thank you so much, Dada, for all this information. Listeners, I hope that you people are learning. You are taking gems. This is not a, you know, wishful thinking. Oh, we think this is like first-hand experience shared with you. So reflect on it, pray about it, and make the best choice when you choose your wife, when you choose your husband. And then from there on out, may the grace of God be with you for it to work out. Um, but yeah. So now we're gonna go on a halftime break, and when we come back, we'll discuss the topic of the Cora OBD and Justin Dean situation, and just like give a wrap up to the entire topics. But yeah, I'm still flushed. I'm still like reflecting on the things you've said. They're very very important and big points that you've raised. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Um,
You're welcome.
so we'll be back after the break, guys. So the song playing is "Toxic Love" by Stefflon Don. Teflon Don being a Burna Boy's babe or ex babe, something along those lines. Burna Boy is a Nigerian artist. Toxic, baby. You just feel toxic, baby. I'm like, fuck, baby.